Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WrestleMania week. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah. And welcome once again to another weekly installment of 205 Live Matters, where this week we will discuss the go home episode of 205 Live as we talk about the championship match at WrestleMania and tonight's events that occurred. But first, allow me to introduce you to my guest tonight. She is one of the free ladies of No DQ, leader of Team Indie DQ. Some of you call her Sensitive. I compare her a lot to Lacey Evans because she's a tea aficionado. She's the lovely and delightful Cindy G. Cindy, how are you?
I'm doing good so far. Well, I'm just gonna leave it at that right now because you already know why I'm feeling like this.
Oh, yes. So why don't we just get right into it? So basically, we
hmm
start off with Drake Maverick, of course, introducing us to 205 Live and hyping up the championship match, which at this point, folks, there was no kickoff graphic. There was nothing about being on kickoff. Everything was looking glorious. But anyway, we get into the show and he talks about tonight's matches. He talks about a first ever encounter between Kalisto and Oni Lorcan, who, as you all know now, is the newest addition to Kalisto having an incredible showing last week against Humberto Carrillo, picking up the victory there. And then following this, we also learned that tonight's main event is going to be a rematch. We finally get Akira versus Mike 2, only this time, Akira Tozawa has D. Brian Hendrick in his corner, while Mike Canales, of course, has Maria Canales into his corner. And then following that, we get right into the show. So basically, the announcers, they introduce us, and then they talk about they cannot wait for this Sunday. And then we get the graphic, and excuse me for one moment. You're telling me you can't put this on the kickoff? Freaking idiots, you stupid computer. Freaking computer, you freaking your limits tag. What? Ugh.
And that's why I'm drinking soda to break my diet instead of my usual tea, and plus to be less decaffeinated for the suppress.
For the sake and the kindness and consideration of my family, I will not go into full rage mode tonight. Will the same thing
hmm
happen during WrestleMania predictions? Only time will
hmm
tell. But
Yeah.
folks, I am not in a good mood. Anyway,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm leaving my glasses off. Anyway,
Same.
so we get right into the match. So following this, we get the Lucha House Party. They introduce us into, of course, 205 Live, and they tell us that it's Lucha time. And they also talk about, of course, their inclusion in WrestleMania in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Again,
Of
another
course.
pointless match. Why the fuck does this exist? Anyway,
hmm
I digress. So basically, we go straight into it with Only Lorcan. He's coming out here just full vinegar, full anger. As soon as the bell rings, no hesitation. You know what? Fuck it. This is WrestleMania. Cindy, you watched 205 Live literally with me in spirit during, the No DQ Live chat. Do you have any thoughts, takeaways, or moments from this match before I go into it?
Well, I feel this was a really good match, especially like I was kind of like trying to get out of the no DQ live chat, but I got a lot of people are like saying, "Hey, Cindy," and then of course I have to like talk about why am I the controversial member of NoDQ.com, which I already explained to it before. And while I was watching 205 Live and then the No DQ live stream, which I'm kind of like trying to multitask, trying to stay with Matt, there's this very interesting spot where like when Lisa was about to do his top rope signature maneuver, I forget what's it called again because I was like distracted. Then you saw Ortiz have both knees up. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And that's when I missed the question from the No DQ live stream that Caitlin was pointing out. But whatever. Anyway, it is a really good match. But I know it seems like somewhat predictable because Orton Lorcan is officially a heel. Of course, like after you guys saw what happened on the last week's episode of 205 Live, where he actually caused Cedric the match, which I think is 2 weeks ago,
Over
but
a
whatever.
jacket. Not like this, but a
Yes.
jacket nonetheless.
Exactly. And
Explain,
then his
folks.
cryptid tweet where he's keep apologizing and apologizing to Cedric, and then another cryptic tweet. I was like, yeah, he is a full blown heel. So it is a pretty good opening of the match, even though I wasn't happy about what they've been announced for Mania after all. But I see they're going everywhere to what they're going to do with Orny Lorcan. I'm glad he's now in 205 Live. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay in NXT per se, for the fact that they're building him up as being like one of the top heel in the Cruiserweight division. So I'm very happy that Orny Lorcan is getting his shine what he needed to do. And I'm looking forward to how they're going to do with him in like the next episode or two or more. And as for the Lucha House Party, I mean, I know they did their usual promo. I mean, they're happy about it. I know they're in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which we all know that they're gonna lose, whatever. But continue on what they gotta do, even though they're like doing Raw, because you know the tag team division is very lacking. But mostly the 205 Live is the home they needed. But I digress.
Yeah, very, very good points. Very good points. Yeah, and I imagine Oni must use like every character in that tweet, but he said like, I'm sorry, Cedric, sorry, Cedric, sorry, Cedric, sorry, Cedric, sorry, Cedric. Good grief, I sounded like I was freestyle rapping or something. Jesus. But that was red light. That's literally what he wrote. Go look at his Twitter, folks. And
yeah, it was over the weekend.
I'm gonna probably turn into a meme before I know it because of that. Please no friggin' Spice Girls reference. Anyway. That's a whole nother thing. I'm not
Give me what I want or I really, really want. Just like the WrestleMania announcement, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, I wanna. Okay.
The really want a zigzag guy.
And we're off the rails. All right. Okay.
See, I made you smile, Noah.
I fall out of focus. Okay, yeah. All right. So yeah, going into this match, I mean, bell rang. What happens immediately? He friggin' Kalisto eats a friggin' uppercut, and Only Lorcan, he is the most unorthodox guy now on 205 Live. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows head or tails how to make out of him, whether it's his ring style or his character. This match was nothing but freaking chops and uppercuts and just power moves by Oni. And Kalisto couldn't make high nor tails of it. By the way, I'm kind of getting tired of the noisemakers and Penelope. Just saying.
Hey, Penelope has more characteristic than Francesca.
Ouch. All right. Well, who you, New Day? All right. I'll leave that to the fans of Up, Up, Down, Down to come after you for that. So basically, going into this match, moving a little forward, so like feeling out process. Neither man really gained advantage. Only keeping Kalisto guessing. Kalisto, though, he's basically evading. But we get our first attempt at Oni's finisher, the half and half. That gets countered, and then Kalisto eats a chop. Following this, Kalisto, he goes for something that Phoenix does, simply where he jumps between the ropes and tries to jump off the top rope and pull off a deep arm drag. He botched it badly. But hey, Oni, he sold it because Kalisto, he did get an arm drag out. Following this, we get a top rope cross body, cover, nothing special. Oni then sends Kalisto over the top rope. Later on, we get another chop. Freaking Kalisto's chest, good grief. He got
yeah.
Up. I haven't seen a chest messed up since Jack Starr from friggin' NXT UK with Walter, or friggin' Daniel Bryan from the show that will not be named. But anyway.
Taylor Bates at TakeOver, NXT UK TakeOver of Blackpool, his chest.
Yeah, that too. But I'm thinking of something that I wish I could forget. Anyway, Kalisto, he later on he gets dropped on the apron. Only goes for another cover. Nope. And then we get an interesting spot in this match. A cutaway backstage to who arrived into 205 Live, pissed off beyond belief. Buddy Murphy, the champ. And he was not in a good-looking mood as he pushed one of the indie wrestlers off to the side and one of the stage managers, I guess. Did you recognize that wrestler at all, Cindy?
I don't, honestly. But I think Big G probably know because he gone to some of the independent wrestling show in his hometown of Maryland. But I don't know. But yeah. And by the way, I don't know if Big G watches 205 Live when he was there for the SmackDown Live taping. I don't know.
Well, Big G, appreciate you, brother. We're no DQ for life. We don't hate, we appreciate, but give it a chance if you don't yet, brother, because 205 Live matters, at least to me and Cindy. Simple as that.
Exactly.
Anyway, going on back into the match because basically this was happening while there was a wrestle spot, which doesn't happen that often, nor for a long period of time. But you go back into the match and we get basically a Northern lariat to the back of Kalisto's head, drop that boy, cover, and then once again he resorts to the chop. They start talking about how Kalisto's chest is red and scarred and it welts were forming, and they seriously were. Oofa.
Mm-hmm.
Then we finally get a half and half completed, but Kalisto, he lands on his feet. Very impressive. Then we get another, I feel like, botch, or maybe Kalisto was tired. I don't know. He goes for a Hurricanrana. Not really well executed, in my opinion. And then we get our first attempt at Salida del Sol. That was countered into a vicious uppercut. But then both men, they find themselves on the apron. He finally plus Salida del Sol, drops Oney Lorcan on the apron to the floor. But again, you can't win like that. If both of you are on the floor, you need to pin him in the ring or take a count out. Kalisto, very slow to capitalize. He goes for the pinfall victory. Nope, near fall.
Mm-mm.
So following that, we get like you said, a 450 splash, and you could tell how frustrated, how angry he was, and he wanted to do this, wanted to pull this off. It was like his last ace in the hole. He goes for it and just eats knees horribly. Then following this, we get the half and half suplex. This time, fully executed where Kalisto lands face first on the mat, and he gets him 1, 2, 3 for the win. Only Lorcan wins. He also states at one point, I think it was also during this, was Cedric watching? Cedric, are you watching? Showing off so much anger, talking to the announcers in the face, bashing on the Egyptian point in an English spot. The table was going to explode from just the pure hatred, vinegar, and anger coming out from Oney Lorcan, who feels Cedric basically cost him his dream, his opportunity, as they pointed out. They also pointed out the whole jacket angle, too. So, yeah, I thought this was a good opening contest. Oney Lorcan,
Yes.
great second match under the 205 Live banner, now officially signed to us. I guess you can really call it his first, though technically
That's right.
he's undefeated, maybe, since
Well, I know that before he got officially signed with 205 Live, he had two of the matches, but it was like a squash match where he lost.
They were one up, yeah.
Yeah. So now that he's officially signed with 205 Live, I guess that's his like undefeated streak, except for the fact that he lost during the second round of the tournament to Cedric Alexander. So you could think that this is just the beginning of the feud between Orly and Cedric, for all it matter.
Yeah, a new storyline, a new rivalry developing. At least he's not going undefeated in his head. Unlike
NXT, oh, yeah.
NXT. But I digress.
You made that EST, even though I pick her to be the next NXT Women's Champion, which is going to happen, by the way.
We'll see. I still say Io Shirai will ascend, especially because, I don't know, I think something can change about that match between now and TakeOver. I'm just saying.
All right.
All right, so yeah, I thought this was a great opening contest. Good for Oni. We'll see what happens next with Lucha House Party. I honestly don't know what's next for them after the Andre Giant War Battle Royal. Kalisto, I don't see him lasting longer than I first expected after this match, too, because he took a lot of punishment. And by the way, no interference from the rest of Lucha House Party, so very interesting.
I mean, they just want to play fair and square, or they're just tired of getting their butt kicked from last night's Monday Night Raw, as we also see.
True. Maybe they were suffering from Monday Night Raw. Oh, jeez. Anyway, we go into Drake Maverick's office now, and we find him talking to who he calls the franchise of 205 Live, Cedric Alexander. Cedric coming in, basically stating that Oni's here. I wanted the match with Oni. What's up? Basically, he's saying that you've already lost 2 matches in a row, and that's unlike you. So I want you to be 100%, which is why I gave you basically the night off, because I want you to take time to recuperate. Of course, Cedric, like all the cruiserweights, is reluctant to this, okay? He says he doesn't need this. He doesn't need time off. He's fine. But Drake Maverick, looking out for the concern of his talent. Hey, John Oliver, I wonder if you were talking about 205 Live, General Manager Drake Maverick at all in your rant. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think Drake Maverick actually understands. Anyway, that's a whole different topic. Basically, though, he says, you will get this match once I deem you ready. So just relax, take your time. And Cedric's like, okay, I got you, boss. If you ask
Okay.
me, I feel like he's gonna go out there and beat down Oni outside of a match, which is
Agree.
probably not gonna go over well with the general manager.
Hmm.
Just saying. Any thoughts, Cindy?
Well, there goes Cedric Alexander being considered as part of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal because, like I said, they're probably going to do something with Cedric and the whole Orly Lorcan feud in the beginning. But overall, it's a pretty decent promo for Cedric and Drake Maverick. And it would make more sense because, like, since this is the go home episode of 205 Live before Mania, so I think that's kind of like a relief for Cedric to take a break because keep in mind, last year he had a match against, well, Ali. God, he's
Mustafa.
still Mustafa Ali, okay? For the vacant cruiserweight title match, and yeah, it's part of the kickoff pre-show match. We'll talk about it later, but so it would make more sense that Cedric definitely needs to get like a time off, but yeah.
Yeah. Cedric is definitely one of those guys that puts in more, I think, than some of the other cruiserweights on 205 Live. No disrespect to none of them, but Cedric's been there since day
Mm-hmm.
one. He truly feels like he owns this brand. He loves this brand. He is the brand, and he just wants to always wrestle. So kudos to him.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, you need a friggin' off season, even if it's 1 week. Right, Maverick? I respect your decision. All right.
Okay.
Speaking of the cruiserweight title match, following this, we go straight backstage into another backstage area where we find Tony Nese being interviewed about this Sunday's cruiserweight championship match. He basically is asked about, "Are you feeling any pressure?" Tony Nese responds that, "No, I'm not feeling no pressure. If anyone's feeling pressure, all the pressure is on Buddy because Buddy knows what I'm capable of. That's why he was hiding out in Orlando, Florida." And next thing you know, as he was trying to continue, what happens? Buddy comes up from behind. What is it with this week and go home WrestleMania angles? Chaos being the freaking word of the week. We've had chaos from Raw. We've had chaos from SmackDown
Mm-hmm.
Live. Now we got chaos in 205 Live.
Oh yeah.
And yet
Well,
somehow
Raw.
like three of the best build angles we got all week for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure. Attitude Era rules. Go figure.
Exactly.
Yeah, they beat each other up through all this backstage area, and eventually they make it out into the arena area where you find security. Who the fuck hires security?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, not enough apparently, or strong enough. Security tries to restrain Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese, only for Buddy Murphy to try and jumping knee strike Tony Nese to take out a security guard. That guard went down like a light after that. And then Tony Nese capitalizes, throws Buddy Murphy into the LED board. Buddy Murphy down. Tony Nese sees this, points up towards the WrestleMania sign, and then full throttle takes him out with a running knee strike. Champ laid out. Tony Nese walks away. So very interesting final build angle, I feel, to the Cruiserweight title match, seeing how both men despise each other. Both men feel that high about themselves and believe that they can win, and both men are taking this WrestleMania match extremely seriously. Cindy, any other thoughts from you?
Well, it is a pretty much your typical brawl for like the go home episode before Mania. Like I said, it's just, let's say that once they announce where they're going to be placed for Mania, I just kind of lost interest whatsoever. But like I said, I'm going to get into that later on when we're going to talk about during the simple stance. So
yeah,
it is a good build up for it. And to seeing Tony and Buddy trying to ball out just for that coveted title, it just shows the proof that you're just here for just the title. Despite that, whether they're a babyface or a heel, even though I'm assuming Tony is still a heel, well, it matters, but I guess that it's just kind of convoluting to this whole feud for it. But so far it's all right. But like I said, the brawl from Monday Night Raw was better because of the cops theme.
I think that was the best brawl of the week, and nothing's going to top that. That was
Of
one of the
course.
best brawl segments I've seen in a long time.
However, when you mentioned about Buddy did the knee strike to Tony, that's kind of like mimicking Charlotte did the knee strike to Ronda at the police car.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so kind of like a little bit of like the rehash from Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Hey, Luke Owen. Control C, Control V.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I watch the competition sometimes because, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I'm just kidding, wrestling, but nonetheless.
Yeah. No DQ for life, y'all.
Damn right. Anyway, yeah, so, again, I'm looking for this match. I still feel like it's going to be one of the better matches, but again, it does not belong, again, for my family, because I will respect the fact that my numbness brother needs to work and my mom's trying to sleep, because if this was any different time of day, there would be loudness and there would be something broken. It does not belong on the kickoff show. That's all I have to say for now.
Fucking kickoff show, y'all.
Simple as that. Okay, so following this, we go right into our main event. One of your favorites, Mike Kanellis with Maria Kanellis versus Akira Tozawa, with this time a guy in his corner, his mentor, I guess they call him, the Brian Kendrick. Cindy, do you have any thoughts about this match before I talk about it?
It was a pretty good main event match. I thought it would be a little bit better, but both of these competitors, they knock it out of the park, especially for Mike Kanellis. Still with his frustrating opportunist gimmick, but overall pretty decent. I was even happy about what happened at the end. So far, I thought it would be a little bit more than I was hoping for, but now it's like, what's next for the feature? Which, go ahead, Noah, take it away, so that way I can give my final thought about the main event match.
Yeah, and this special edition of 205 Live Matters that's happening during WrestleMania week at a much more earlier, unexpected time. And I'm just going to say this right now. We're just going to do the whole thing all in one shot here because it's WrestleMania week. We're tired. We're a little bit pissed, but we're also still supportive of 205 Live.
Pissed and depressed.
Simple as that. But we're all right. We'll be all right. Anyway, let's talk about this match a little bit. So Akira Tozawa, he maintains control for beginning portion. He gets a little bit of offense in because, he was angry and frustrated with the outcome of last week. And he also gets an octopus in there, but Mike, he reaches the rope both times. Of course, going to his wife, who basically is like his rock, basically, as Nigel McGuinness puts it. Keeping him in the match, keeping him motivated, keeping him focused, or at least trying to. Following this, we get one of Akira Tozawa's trademark spots attempted, the suicide headbutt dive, only to be countered into an attempted super kick, only for that to be countered into a wicked clothesline by Mike Kanellis, turns Akira Tozawa inside out. Following this, Mike, he maintains control for most of the match. We got some stomps. We got a vicious right hand. I feel like at one point he's going to hurt his right hand. I wonder if he hits harder than Lacey Evans.
He does.
Your role model's done nothing but showed us her style in fashion since coming.
It's just his poor booking, but whatever. Well, let's continue on. This 205 Live. Hashtag 205 Live matters.
It's WrestleMania week too, so I mean, again, we're all over the place.
Exactly.
So following this, we get a bit of a rest hold for a little while after a cover that did nothing. Rear chin lock. Mike Kanellis is one of his staples. But then following this, we get some nice standing vertical suplexes, 3 in a row. Very impressive. I thought he was going to count on the third one. Nope. And basically, we get a cover. And then Akira, he finally capitalizes with a sliding kick. And then we get a cover from that. Nope. Then we get an attempted head scissors. I think he slipped off herself. And again, botching galore. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get basically, but they say, oh, wow, look at that. Mike, he countered it into a power bomb. Akira landed hard, too. High angle. Yeesh.
Hey.
Man, I'm glad he didn't get, thrown in his neck or something. That could have been catastrophic. Anyway. Maria then goes to Mike and says, stay on him. Be aggressive. And because, again, Mike, he starts bullying frustration. The more covers he makes, the more that they fail to give him the match. And right now, D. Brian Kendrick, he just doesn't have to fight. He hasn't been involved at this point. Following this, though, basically we get an elbow strike, and we finally get a nice hurricanrana, and then one of Akira Tozawa's trademarks, a missile drop kick into the first near fall that causes Maria to panic. But no, the match isn't over. Then we get an exchange. There's a slam to the mat, and then a kick to the face, and another cover. Still not enough. And then Akira Tozawa, he's finally showing signs of frustration. Basically, shades of Mike Kanellis himself because he can't seem to get the win. Both men basically
Mm-hmm.
are trying to get the win here. Both men need it, really. Following this, we get an insane pop-up spine buster from Mike Kanellis, and then a nice near fall, and then Mike literally targeting himself, punching himself, slapping himself, literally hyping himself up. I think literally he was drowning out Baby Maria, just trying to get himself in the match. I really wonder sometimes if Mike ever like hypes himself up and tries to like drown out Maria. Does he ever feel like what Aiden said? Is Maria a distraction more than encouragement? While Nigel, is pro Maria. I'll get your thoughts more about that later. That's just something I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
So following that, we get an insane exchange. There was kicks and kicks and kicks, and then there was a slide through, and then Akira Tozawa, he locks on the Iron Octopus, literally drops Mike Kanellis to the mat, but Mike, he finds his way to the ropes. And basically doesn't really get a rope break. He sends himself and Akira Tozawa over the top rope. Both men land awkwardly to the floor. So following this, Mike, he capitalizes. He gets up from this. He sends Akira Tozawa into the barricade. Nice Irish whip. And then we get a vicious hanging neck breaker from the barricade to the point Lee Brian Kenneth trying to come over and check on his friend. Maria's like, keep him over there. You stay away. You stay away. And basically from there, we get a cheap shot to Lee Brian Kenneth. Really the first time he got technically involved in the match as far as the storytelling goes because Mike drops him. And then, of course, Ian's like, what is that for? Are you kidding me? And I was like, hey, you got involved in the match.
Mm-hmm.
Great, Nigel. Great chemistry between those two.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, following this, we get a nice open palm strike, and then we get an attempted superplex from the corner by Akira Tozawa. But again, Mike Kanellis' legs, being the ring veteran he is of 16 years, folks, in case you already don't know, he has his legs inside, so you really can't pull off the attempted superplex spot. So what does Akira Tozawa do? He counters Mike Kanellis' strength after Mike almost puts him up into a torture rack position into a nice top rope Hurricanrana, the best one in the match, and gets a nice near fall from it. But nope. And then following this, we just get both men exhausted, frustrated, just laying into each other. There's open palm strikes. There's the freaking kicks galore. There's one of my favorite things of Akira Tozawa, that fake out jab that drops Mike for a moment, but then we get a big boot exchange between both men, a super kick from Mike Kanellis, and then a basic kick from Akira Tozawa, both men down, the audience loving it. So following this, we get Akira Tozawa basically relying on his inner Bushido, his fighting spirit. He pulls off his snap German suplex, and then another open palm strike, and then basically Mike, though, he finds a way to capitalize, and he rolls up Akira Tozawa, but beat his way with the power of love by holding on to his wife's hands in between the ropes, obstructed by the rescue. Who comes into play, though? The Brian Kendrick, who I think was either trying to break it up or actually telling the ref, look at what's happening. Whatever the case, it was enough because Akira Tozawa, after the ref got the Brian Kendrick out there, Akira Tozawa with the quick roll-up gets Mike. 1, 2, 3. Both men are tied. 1-1. So, Cindy, what are your thoughts on the outcome of this match, and what do you see happening next?
Well, okay, so picking back to what the question you asked me about Maria Kanellis as being a distractor to Mike Kanellis or as a motivation. Honestly, it's not a distraction because with Maria by ringside, that's like one of Mike Kanellis' biggest motivation. That's for his gimmick is the opportunity. He just wanted to give the opportunity, not for himself, but also for his wife and their daughter together. So he just wanted to prove like why he is overcoming with like any obstacle in his life. And like I mentioned it in the past, like throughout different social media, he's trying to become more of a motivational speaker because of like his past his prescription meds addiction. So that's what he is trying to rebuild for his character, and then having Maria and on his side just to be like his motivational while she's being the aid for like during his outcome of the match. With that being said, like afterwards, I feel the finisher was kind of like a bit sloppy to say. I thought it would be a little bit more than like, a surprise ending to it. But like Tozawa doing a roll up to Mike Kanellis, I feel it's kind of like an overkill. And now what's going to happen? I just hope this is going to be the end of like this short living feud between Akira and Mike Kanellis. And for that, we're not sure what's going to be happening next with Mike and Maria Kanellis. I mean, Mike is pretty frustrated. Maria's trying to comfort him. Mike is not happy about it, but it's just question of uncertainty as well. And plus, what's next for Akira and Brian Kendricks, especially after Mania?
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty between all four of these people here. And obviously, I don't see this devolving into a tag team match because they're not going to do Mike and Maria versus Akira and Brian Kendrick. And I don't know if they're going to guy to be in Mike Kanellis' corner, for example. Maybe that'd be like a future plan pulled off by Maria Kanellis, who's always calculated, always trying to think ahead. And yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't have like Mike at one point go for his twisting DDT, Impact DDT finisher, and Akira trying to counter that. That didn't seem to play at all in this match. So I feel like this was more just the frustration about both men's overall direction on 205 Live, but also their support systems now are coming into play for this story as well. So as far as what happens next, I'm going to guess, I don't know, 2 out of 3 falls?
Who knows?
They haven't done that for a while. I mean...
Yeah, true.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then following this, the show wasn't quite over as they did a closer look at the Cruiserweight Championship match.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. What were your thoughts overall on this video package?
It's a good video package. Like I say, it's a shame that where they're being placed in a kickoff pre-show, it's like it's freaking BS, but I'm just going to save the best for last, and we're going to talk about the simple stance, which I think is probably what we're going to talk about is our prediction, so that way we can save some time when you're doing the video with Stefan and Jerry, and I'm going to be doing the video with the ladies at NoDQ.com and Big G as well.
Yeah, everything's changed up this week, folks. It's a totally different schedule. We got different groups together because this is going to be the most wrestling-heavy week of the year, so everything's out of whack.
Yep.
So with that, let's go ahead and grade the show real quick. I don't know. I got mixed feelings. First off, I'm annoyed about the whole fucking kickoff announcement.
Yeah.
But I digress. I also thought there was a lot of messy wrestling, actually, between both matches. Akira Tozawa, he had a couple of miscellaneous spots, in Kalisto, he had a couple of subs as well. I didn't think the finish really delivered to me on the main event. I feel like the only one that really gave me a full-fledged, well-put-over performance was only Lorcan. This show, I'm sorry, I got to go a little lower than normal. This show was a 3 out of 5 for me. Cindy, what about you?
Well, despite that, of the freaking announcement of what's going to be placed at WrestleMania 35, plus, I do enjoy some of the matches, despite the whole botch fest stuff.
Right.
With that being said, I'm just going to give it, honestly, a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. A little more
just generous. To be generous. Yes. I mean, I do enjoy the opening of the match, and I'm very happy for Lorcan to win the match. Right. For the main event, I thought it was a little more than expected for the finisher, and, uncertain question of what's going to happen next with all these 4 competitors.
Yeah, the question of uncertainty, I guess, really does keep you guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, uncertainty, I'll give you a bonus, 3.25. But not the best episode, but definitely not the worst. So
yeah.
With that, let's go right into some simple stances. Like I said, folks, we're just doing it all at once. This is probably not even going to be an hour. So why don't we start with, you know what? Why don't you kick us off? You and I already talked about topics within chat. Folks, this is a fan-driven discussion. I don't necessarily come up with these myself. The people here, your opinions matter. So do your thoughts. My guests or people outside my guests, they come up with the topics too. Cindy, why don't you kick off our first topic? What's the first thing you want to talk about?
So the topic that I have come up with the idea, and especially the fact that, number one, we have 15 matches for WrestleMania. That is part of the final card. And, we're going to have like a long-ass predictions video from each of the different groups, like the No DQ Elite team, the NX team, like you, Stefan, and Jerry, the ladies at NoDQ.com, and Big G will be joining us well, and who knows, other videos that's going to pop up, maybe Boston Punk, maybe Greg Cherry's Quick Pick, who knows. So since we all find out that, and I hate to say it, the fucking cruiserweight match is in the fucking kickoff pre-show match. And I have an idea because, as I stated before, um, there was no title switch in every past pay-per-view for whether the cruiserweight title match was in the kickoff pre-show match. There was no title switch, except for the exception of the vacant cruiserweight championship match at last year's WrestleMania, because we all know what happened. But so that's making an exception. And besides that, the only title switch that happens on a pay-per-view, it has to be in the main card, of course. And the last time that the title switch on the main card is like what? Super Showdown, where Buddy Murphy defeated Cedric Alexander for the
Right.
cruiserweight title. So now is Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy, and I figure, and I told you, Noah, and I did save everybody, but I know they're not going to take it into consideration, but I'll respect that, See, people, I'm a human being like everybody else, so whatever. And yeah, I'm controversial, by the way, but whatever. I see the fact that, just to save some time, a lot of people, that because it is a kickoff pre-show match, there's not going to be any title switch. And after what we saw on 205 Live, it's just like, your normal backstage brawl between two friends that you mentioned it, they hit each other. For me, I'm still a little bit confused whether Tony Nese is a heel or a babyface, but for me, I feel he's like more into like a heelish role, even though I stated he's a babyface, but not really. Therefore, I told everybody, just say who you're going to pick, and that's it. Do not go into full detail. I know you and I are already talking about it in full details. So to kick things off, we're going to go ahead with our picks for the Cruiserweight title match for the kickoff pre-show. Who's going to walk home as a champ? So for me, and I explained this already, and for my piece, I'm going to go with Buddy Murphy to retain the title at Mania. And what's going to be next for Buddy Murphy, because we may going to get more possible call-ups from NXT to 205 Live, like so many opportunity, and plus we're going to discuss one more person that there's a rumor that he might go to 205 Live or not, which we're going to get into that so we can discuss our piece as well. And as far as for Tony Nese, well, have him continue whatever he got to do, maybe go to a next feud with somebody else, but not with Tony Nese, or unless Tony and Bunny will forgive each other, hugging out and whatever. So those are my pick, and this is going to be my official pick, Noah, for the Cruiserweight title. And that way, when I'll be joining with the ladies on ODQ and Jeff, I'm just going to say Buddy retains, and not to go into full explanation mode.
Very, very strong points, Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely agree with your passion about the fact that the fucking Cruiserweight title match is on the kickoff show. Once again, it's an insult to the Cruiserweight division. It's an insult to me on how great these guys can deliver a high caliber match if given the time. And I believe they belong in the main card. I still feel like it should open or go mid card, just like my guy, The Holiday, the Family Man, Chris Mace also thinks. And shout out to all of you that believe 205 Live
That's right.
Here or not. No DQ next team, appreciate you. Anyway.
Exactly. And also, it's an insult to everybody who is a fan of Ring of Honor, because Tony Nese was in Ring of Honor before. And it sucks that the kickoff pre-show is at his home state of New York.
Here's the thing. Listen, we know under WWE's mentality, 99% of the time, you're in your hometown, it's going to not work out in your favor. 99% of the time, you're a cruiserweight on the kickoff, nothing's going to change. 99% of the time, you're a participant in the kickoff, nothing's going to change. Well, 95, unless you're Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev.
Oh, sure.
I had to go back to Royal Rumble.
Ooh.
So I can't believe Jerry got that right. Jerry, damn you. Damn you.
At least I got it right for the Usos versus McMiz at freaking Chambers.
At least that was on the freaking main card.
Yeah, okay. Anyway. Your pick.
So anyway, let me first go back to that video package, because I almost forgot to talk about that a little bit. It basically talked about how both men, it looked like it was a friendship, but Tony Nese referenced about it was more than a friendship. To me, it felt more like a brotherhood. But basically, Tony Nese, he feels that Buddy Murphy is overconfident, and overconfidence is his flaw. But he thinks Tony Nese, he's a great cruiserweight, great blueprint for a cruiserweight, but I'm beyond that. I'm a hybrid athlete. He can't stop the unstoppable. And to me, Tony Nese, I'm just going to prove once again why you were always my bag boy. And Tony Nese just says he wants to win even more. Basically, that's some of the video package, and then we got the end of the show. But going back to this, and going back to all those analytics I said, I am on point for this because to me, it's not just about points. It's about 205 Live matters. Cindy,
Exactly.
it's in his hometown. I know it's on
Mm-hmm.
kickoff. I have to imagine there's more competition on the roster right now for Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy, who's already wiped out every face I can think of, despite the fact there might be a potential huge face call-up. I'm going against the grind, and I'm officially stating right here, right now, committed, Tony Nese becomes the new
Oh
cruiserweight
shit.
champion. Simple as that. And here's why. I feel like
Okay.
Buddy Murphy, he has had an incredible rejuvenation in his career since being on 205 Live. But I also feel like he's done everything he can with the title. Now, truth be told, a lot of the veterans that have been on there since day one, they're still on that brand. Because like Maria, who basically talked about how much we recognize the brand in her tweet, 205 Live is basically main show and main roster. I don't necessarily see either man moving up, but I do see the feud between Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese continuing. And keep in mind, 205 Live does not have automatic rematch clause. Everybody works towards a rematch. We already know Cedar Alexander. He's feuding with Oney Lorcan. He's out of the picture for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Gulak and Humberto Carrillo, they're going to have a tip out, so they're out of the picture for a while. I don't see somebody from Lucha House Party challenging Tony Nese again to beat Kalisto in the opening bout of the Cruiserweight #1 Contenders Championship Tournament. So what do? You build a new champ and you build a new story. Now, Buddy Murphy, he's the challenger. He's the guy that's got to rise up and prove to himself that I was right about Tony Nese after Tony Nese beats him at WrestleMania. So I am on point by saying Tony Nese becomes your new cruiserweight champion.
Okay then. Well, we'll see about that, Noah. It's all based on the points that we're chasing that title. Especially we gotta make sure to get that title back off from Aaron and Caitlyn. But we'll see.
Bring it back to NXT, yes, and I'm still looking
Yeah.
for my first reign.
Oh yeah, definitely. And besides, like I said, I'm standing by my picks, but me Murphy, yeah. And you do have a good. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And you do have a good point about it too, but I just don't see that it's gonna happen. Let alone it's on the kickoff pre-show match. I mean, it would make sense if Tony would be the new cruiserweight champ, because that's gonna break the whole stereotype about the cruiserweight matches will be on a kickoff pre-show match, therefore they never get a title switch. But for me, I'm just gonna go based on like the promos, how people are watching 205 Live, and past history of being in the kickoff pre-show match. I just don't see there's not gonna be any title switch.
Well, again, you're going by business logic. I'm going with heart because when it comes to me and 205 Life Matters, it's more than just me rambling about this. It's a real passion I have for this form of wrestling that I've grown to love since WCW, because I'm still slowly learning WCW on the WWE Network, since watching Ring of Honor, since watching New Japan Pro Wrestling, since watching the X Division and Impact Wrestling, and seeing independent wrestling, support local independent wrestling folks, bring out great, incredible action like this. I recently saw Trey Miguel and a guy named Myron Reed at Extreme Chaos Wrestling, an indie promotion that just started here in my hometown, right here in Toledo, Ohio, have an incredible 23-minute bout for their title. So trust me.
Exactly. And I saw a really amazing cruiserweight match between Jake Atlas and Shane Strickland, which, by the way, he's recently signed at WWE, at an independent wrestling show over the weekend, too, and they did a fantastic job.
And keep in mind, we got an international shakeup coming up. International shakeup. We don't know what it fully entails, but it could include a shakeup to 205 Live. What makes you think Buddy Murphy might not, if he drops the title, go to friggin', I don't know, NXT UK? They have Australians there. Imagine this. Buddy Murphy and Rhea Ripley. How's that for a dynamic?
That would be interesting.
Because I don't see Buddy Murphy and Alexa Bliss becoming a thing in WWE storytelling. So I don't see Buddy Murphy necessarily going up to Monday Night Raw. If he does go up to the main roster, it would be SmackDown Live. But bottom line is this. I can see Buddy Murphy moving up from the Cruiserweight division to the main roster, and I see Tony Nese continuing where he left off. So that's just like with how they're treating Ali now to the main roster. Do we have to get on the name convention? Do we have to?
I hope not. I hope they better not shorten to Murphy once again, just like they did to NXT when Buddy Murphy and Wesley Blake had to shorten their names, but now they got their full names back once they split up.
at one point in NoDQ chat, all of our names were one letter as a joke.
Thanks,
My name is just one
TJS.
word, just my first name.
And my name is just one letter. I was like, yeah, it's
No,
BS.
you're Cindy. You're Cindy.
Yeah, CND. That's where I have to change all my social media accounts. Well, just
I changed
Twitter
mine
and
to all.
Instagram
I
people.
changed all mine to Noah, so it is what it is. So,
Okay, anyway.
so speaking of roster shakeup, great opening topic. Let's move on into, because again, I feel like we're just going to be shorter here because WrestleMania week and we are spent, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Over to our main event because this is definitely one that can go the distance. Johnny freaking Gargano.
Oh, man.
So a report came out allegedly that Johnny Gargano might be moved to 205 Live. The original plans for him was for him and Ciampa to work up on the main roster. But ever since Vince, allegedly, worked Ciampa while he was injured and Ciampa is out indefinitely, and it looks like what happened to him could indefinitely shorten his career. Shades of Sheamus, shades of Edge, who's officially retired. We have no idea where the future leads for DIY because I'm sure that was the plan on the main roster. So what do you do now? You got Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole going for the vacant NXT Championship in 2003 Falls. Now, we've already discussed our predictions on the NoDQ NXT predictions video, and we all unanimously said Adam Cole. But of course, this is NoDQ. We're all independent people. We all have our own opinions and reactions. And recently, another good buddy of ours in NoDQ, I like to call him Mr. Merchandise Teller, Tyler Joseph Smith, TJS, he picked Johnny Gargano to become the champ. Now, I did hear something apparently that Johnny Gargano did say he wants to stay in NXT for another year. And why the hell wouldn't you? So, Cindy, what are your thoughts on Johnny Gargano being relegated only? Because this is my beef. And I'll talk about my stance on that after I get your thoughts. But what are your thoughts on Johnny Gargano as far as relation to 205 Live?
I feel that it's probably going to be a big mistake if Johnny Gargano is going to 205 Live. I mean, with all due respect for everybody, I feel Johnny Gargano rather be a bigger star in the main roster than 205 Live because even though I support the Cruiserweight, I love 205 Live and all that, but a lot of people doesn't tune into 205 Live, which I can definitely respect for it. I just think that it'll probably going to be kind of like a demotion unless if they have a plan for having Johnny Gargano just to be, on Monday Night Raw and then just, work on like 205 Live, just like what they did to Lucha House Party as of right now, but for the tag team division or like, years ago where I hate to say it, How Are You Doing was in freaking Monday Night Raw and on 205 Live at the same time. And that was like right after, like at that time before like everything happens. And then some of the Cruiserweight maybe a little bit of appearance on the main roster too, like only on Monday Night Raw as part of the excursion. So if they're probably going to do like another excursion for like the Cruiserweight to be in the main roster and then still have 205 Live, I mean, I don't see why not. But with that being said, I just don't want Johnny Gargano to go to 205 Live. He's just too good of an athlete, especially he was working his butt off in NXT. I mean, look, he is the face of NXT, even though whether he's a babyface or a heel, that's where he belongs. And then having to the main roster, that will help boost up with his credibility. He'll have very incredible matches too. Even if WWE's creative aspect is piss poor at the moment. But still, yeah, exactly. But have Gargano go to the main roster and just make a name to himself. Everybody, like, even though he was in the main roster for a short period of time, there was a lot of crowd reaction for Johnny Gargano, even though he was teaming with Tommaso Ciampa at the time, right before Tommaso's injury. Like, that's all it matters is the crowd want to see Johnny wrestling succeed in the main roster, and that was like a testing point. I don't know what Vince is thinking, in business aspect, but whatever that happens, Johnny Gargano better get ready because NXT TakeOver New York would be his, break his proof to everybody, including to the McMahon family, that why he deserves just to be permanently in the main roster, but not on 205 Live. But if he goes to 205 Live, I would, at first, I'll be very disappointed because I just want Johnny Gargano to succeed in the main roster, but then 205 Live. But at the same time, I feel that it will be good for, like, if people wanted to tune in, like the occasional NXT people that watches NXT to watch 205 Live, just taking like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or even more of their time just to watch just one or two matches, and that's it. And who knows? Maybe in the near future, Johnny Gargano is probably gonna like get like a cruiserweight title shot, and that's where it's gonna happen. But for my stance, therefore, I just want Johnny Gargano to be in the main roster and not in 205 Live. But if it happens, I'll be disappointed at first, but I'll say it is what it is from the McMahon family's perspective. Well, mostly Vince and the creative team.
Yes. Okay. So here are my thoughts, and I have several points. But here's why I feel like it would be okay, and this is the only reason it would be. The problem is they don't let the freaking cruiserweights freaking break through the glass ceiling. It's like you're on 205 Live. You literally do everything under 205 Live only. The only time you're expanded outside 205 Live is on like a one-off at an Access event or an NXT UK or NXT. This is why I feel like 205 Live needs to merge more with NXT UK and NXT, or they need to be included more on the main roster. Not necessarily Raw because the idea didn't work. I really feel like we should go back to the days of cruiserweight involvement on SmackDown Live. I recently watched an 8-man tag for the cruiserweights back in the old days of SmackDown Live where Taz, Michael Cole, and Chavo Guerrero were basically a thing. Chavo Guerrero being the cruiserweight champ because of Guerrero Sr. being with him at all the times. You had like Rey Mysterio, you had Jamie Noble, you had Shannon Murphy, you had this insane amount of incredible action on freaking SmackDown Live that main evented pay-per-views.
And by the way, I recommend watching WrestleMania 21 for the Cruiserweight title match.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. Cheap plug, good plug. But the bottom line is this. You want that main appeal on 205 Live. So you want to bring in a bigger name. You want to bring in the best wrestling. And Drake Maverick wants to make 205 Live the most entertaining hour of wrestling possible. But I just don't want Johnny Gargano relegated to 205 Live because he's just so damn good. He delivers so much. That's no disrespect to the cruiserweights, but 205 Live and NXT, they're different levels, okay? And there are certain superstars that bypass each other on each of those levels. Johnny Gargano is one of those that's above it. You call Johnny Gargano like the heart of NXT. Who used to have that money?
It is.
Sami Zayn. Then Sami Zayn, he went up to the main
roster.
Had incredible feuding with Kevin Owens, then became his friend for a while, and then we got Bobby Lashley's sisters.
Or Finn Balor, or Shinsuke Nakamura.
Right, both of which are under the 205 Live weight limit. But the problem is they basically treat 205 Live like, I'm just going to relegate you here. 205 Live is better than the main event because it actually shows up, it actually gives you great action, and people actually watch it. But it still doesn't get enough of an audience, and it still doesn't get enough exposure and appeal. They need to let 205 Live literally break through. If they were to include more 205 Live talent within the main roster storylines, SmackDown Live, or more within NXT, NXT UK, I feel like you got something going there. But Johnny Gargano only to 205 Live, I'm sorry, I cannot just support that. The 205, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You had your hand raised because
okay.
Yes. Share it.
Yeah, I have a thought. If Johnny Gargano is going to go to 205 Live, and if he's going to have like a title match, and if it's going to announce that's going to be in a kickoff pre-show yet again, that's going to be a big FU to Gargano and everybody else.
Yeah, and again, Johnny Gargano right now, he still feels incomplete without winning the NXT championship. I honestly feel like he shouldn't leave NXT until he achieves that goal. And now I know that WrestleMania Access, they're going to have a Worlds Collide similar thing, but not only the men, but the women. So they're going to involve 205 Live, NXT, NXT UK. If they were able to do that more on a weekly basis and build an ultimate super show, kind of like what they did for a while with Raw and SmackDown Live, with those three brands, I feel like WWE would have something ultimate here where everybody would benefit. truth be told, NXT and NXT UK, they're doing great. I just feel like 205 Live, it just doesn't get enough respect and doesn't get enough appeal, which is why I'm concerned for Johnny Gargano, because I feel like he himself would feel like he is not reaching his full potential. And that's the only reason I'm against Johnny Gargano being on 205 Live. Would he fit perfectly? Yes. Would he deliver matches 5 stars every week? Yes. But he would get complacent and eventually get tired of it because, again, on 205 Live, because, again, it's under Vince McMahon, they don't let you break through beyond that hour, if an hour. It wasn't even an hour, it was like 50 minutes. So my bottom line is this: Johnny Gargano, stay in NXT.
Agree.
All right. Well, I think that is a nice way to conclude this special edition of 205 Live Matters. So, Cindy, thank you as always, my friend. A pleasure to chat, join, and collab with you. Is there anything you want to plug and anywhere people can find you?
Alrighty. So, as you guys know, you guys can follow me at nodq.com/Cindy. That's going to take you directly to my Twitter page, and I will be definitely live tweeting NXT TakeOver and the G1 Supercard as well, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Mania, maybe, because I'll be at my coworker's house just watching Mania all together and just trying to have a great time as best as we can. And also make sure to follow me at simply_C_OK on Instagram, where I posted photo art on landscape and wrestling, which, by the way, I am doing the countdown to WrestleMania's photo art, where I'm posting photo arts of past shows I've gone to in the past, like from WWE or independent wrestling. And also make sure to check out on my profile, like the highlights of past independent wrestling show I've gone to. I did shoot a couple videos of some of the matches, including the one I went recently to All Pro Wrestling Presents Uncensored, which is the match of where the newly signing All Elite Wrestling stars SCU had a match against Impact Wrestling stars Reno Scum and Jacob Fatu, the son of the Tonga Kid / Uso's cousin. And also make sure to follow me on my YouTube channel, #1 at simply_C_OK, and on my second YouTube channel at Tyson Pop Production, even though we're on hiatus, but it is what it is. And lastly, there is going to be a sale on Pro Wrestling Tees. Starting by the time of the recording of the video, which is going to be on Wednesday, it's going to be 2 days. So head on over to nodq.com/shirts. That's going to take you directly to the nodq.com Pro Wrestling Tee store, so you can buy. Well, Noah's wearing the current nodq.com logo. I have 2 shirts. One of them is my own Cindy shirt, and the other one is the Ladies of NoDQ.com t-shirt, which just include myself, Caitlin, and Aaron with an E, y'all, and everybody else. Yes. And finally, do not forget, tomorrow, Thursday, April 4th, Wrestling Trivia Challenge, 60-minute Ironman trivia match. The champ, Greg Cherry versus Jeff Meacham in a epic final match. See who's going to be the new Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. And by the way, just play Limp Bizkit's My Way, because that's the epic promo. And like I said, it's going to be aggressive in nature. Make sure to hit that notification button on the NoDQ.com YouTube channel, which is somewhere right here. And it's going to get aggressive in nature, y'all.
Bank on it.
Yes.
Shout out to Greg Cherry's girl, Sasha Banks. By the way, before I make my plugs, shout out to 205 Live Fire, Chris Velez, who says, and I quote, "You better kill this review tonight and kill the feds on the kickoff." Chris, I did, but out of respect to my family, you won't hear a lot of cursing or yelling, but trust me, I'm not fucking happy. And 205 Live Matters. It does not belong on the fucking kickoff show.
Yeah. Sorry, good brother of the Northern California indie wrestling crew.
Yep. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you so much, Cindy. And folks, if you want to follow me, know this first off. I'm nobody special. I'm not a reporter. I'm not a high-class caliber athlete. I'm not a celebrity. I'm barely pretty much anything outside this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me, you can look me up, nodq.com/Noah. It takes you to my Twitter page, and I'll talk to you anything wrestling, WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Impact, Indie Wrestling. Support local indie wrestling, folks, and any wrestling beyond that in between. I recently started watching some other promotions out in the British scene, like Resurgence, where I saw current Defiant Women's Champion Kanji in matches with Charlie Evans. Pretty good bouts. So, like I said, I'm always open to watching more wrestling and learning about wrestling. So just give me a look up. And as Cindy said, there's a sale coming up. Go buy a shirt, nodq.com/shirts. Buy this one. That's a great starter shirt. Go look at our playlist in Spotify. We're 5,000 songs. I'm pretty sure I just added Coca Cabana's theme on there, if I can find it. It'll probably be the band of the year. Just look up hashtag Team NoDQ. And folks, it's WrestleMania week, so of course we got a plethora of stuff going on. You just saw the special edition of 205 Live Matters. Thank you so much for supporting the show and watching. Like, share, retweet, subscribe, tell a friend, leave a comment, leave a suggested topic. Let me know if you think it matters. Let me know if you want to be part of the conversation. But also, we got NXT predictions up already for most of Team NoDQ. So go check those out because we are predicting NXT TakeOver New York. We're predicting WrestleMania. And we are predicting the G1 Supercard. Those will be up soon as well. Cash, you're going down. I'm coming after your title. And,
yes, I want my title back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're the former champ. We will be doing WrestleMania predictions pretty soon. She'll have her panel. I'll have mine. Everyone else will have their own independence. It's going to be a long-ass week.
Oh, yeah.
Show, so stay tuned. The Trivia Challenge, enough said, Cindy. Well put. 60 minutes. Anything goes. No breaks. No timeouts. It's literally down to the clock hits zero to crown the undisputed Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion. Are you Team Meacham? Are you Team Cherry? I think you know where me and Cindy stand.
Yes.
Hit that bell. Stay tuned. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday. Don't miss out on the conversation and the competition. And also stay tuned to my simple YouTube channel here. You can find youtube.com/users/Noah Foster 310. You'll find my simple YouTube channel where I'll be doing predictions for Impact and Now That We Stand, a fun show that's just about conglomeration of wrestling promotions, CMLL, Dragon Gate, AAA, and Impact Wrestling, of course, as well, and Lucha Underground. I'm looking forward to seeing Sabu and RVD versus the Lucha Brothers in Extreme Dream match. We also are going to see Jimmy Havoc versus Sami Callihan. That's going to be friggin' insane because it's a death match, folks. And also, like I said, just keep supporting independent wrestling because we're Team NDQ. We care about independent wrestling. I'll be going to a show in May. Check it out if you all want. The YouTube channel right here, Extreme Chaos Wrestling. They're going to be on pay-per-view too. Congratulations, Adam. So get that like, folks. And as always, as I close, support your wrestling outlets, both big and small. And let's keep growing this wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that, it's WrestleMania week, folks. So go find some wrestling to watch. Go find some wrestling to predict. Keep following ODQ at first off, though, and go from there. And enjoy your week. And with that, I do have one more thing to say. Cindy, you said you'll be live tweeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be live on camera reacting to the G1 Supercard, Impact United We Stand, NXT TakeOver New York, and WrestleMania.
Wow.
Here on YouTube. So if you want to just chat with me about the shows or share your predictions, whether I'm wrong or I'm right, or you hope I win, you hope I lose, I don't care. Give me a shout out. It's all in the name of wrestling. So with that, happy WrestleMania week, everybody. I'll see you on the next video. Cindy will see you on the next video. And with that, have a good night.
Cheers, y'all. Stay caffeinated.
Yes, simple as that. And by the way, Caitlin, Aaron, we're coming for you.
Exactly.